Should you find yourself in a chronically leaking boat, energy devoted to changing vessels is likely to be more productive than energy devoted to patching leaks. The most important thing to do if you find yourself in a hole is to stop digging. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. Remember that the stock market is a manic depressive. Beware the investment activity that produces applause. The great moves are usually greeted by yawns. Rule No. 1. Never lose money. Rule No. 2. Never forget Rule No. 1. Never invest in a business you cannot understand. For the investor, a too high purchase price for the stock of an excellent company can undo the effects of a subsequent decade of favorable business developments. If returns are going to be 7 or 8% and you're paying 1% for fees, that makes an enormous difference in how much money you're going to have in retirement. Risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. The key to investing is not assessing how much an industry is going to affect society, or how much it will grow, but rather determining the competitive advantage of any given company and, above all, the durability of that advantage. It's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price. The three most important words in investing are margin of safety. On the margin of safety, which means don't try and drive a 800-pound truck over a bridge that says it's, capacity 10,000 pounds. But go down the road a little bit and find one that says capacity 15,000 pounds. In the business world, the rearview mirror is always clearer than the windshield. Time is the friend of the wonderful company, the enemy of the mediocre. If a business does well, the stock eventually follows. For the investor, a too high purchase price for the stock of an excellent company can undo the effects of a subsequent decade of favorable business developments. Only buy something that you'd be perfectly happy to hold if the market shut down for 10 years. All there is to investing is picking good stocks at good times and staying with them as long as they remain good companies. I never attempt to make money on the stock market. I buy on the assumption that they could close the market the next day and not reopen it for 5 years. It is a terrible mistake for investors with long-term horizons, among them pension funds, college endowments, and savings-minded individuals, to measure their investment risk by their portfolio's ratio of bonds to stocks. Successful investing takes time, discipline, and patience, no matter how great the talent or effort. Some things just take time. You can't produce a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. Calling someone who trades actively in the market an investor is like calling someone who repeatedly engages in one-night stands a romantic. The stock market is designed to transfer money from the active to the patient. If you aren't thinking about owning a stock for 10 years, don't even think about owning it for 10 minutes. Our favorite holding period is forever. An investor should act as though he had a lifetime decision card with just 20 punches on it. Do not take yearly results too seriously. Instead, focus on 4 or 5 year averages. Time is the friend of the wonderful company, the enemy of the mediocre. Why not invest your assets in the companies you really like? As Mae West said, too much of a good thing can be wonderful. The business schools reward difficult, complex behavior more than simple behavior. But simple behavior is more effective. There seems to be some perverse human characteristic that likes to make easy things difficult. The most important quality for an investor is temperament, not intellect. You need a temperament that neither derives great pleasure from being with the crowd or against the crowd. Success in investing doesn't correlate with IQ. What you need is the temperament to control the urges that get other people into trouble in investing. The stock market is a no-called-strike game. You don't have to swing at everything, you can wait for your pitch. You don't need to be a rocket scientist. Investing is not a game where the guy with the 160 IQ beats the guy with 130 IQ. What counts for most people in investing versus saving is not how much they know, but rather how realistically they define what they don't know. There is nothing wrong with a know-nothing investor who realizes it. The problem is when you're a know-nothing investor, but you think you know something. Forecasts may tell you a great deal about the forecaster. They tell you nothing about the future. Buy a stock the way you would buy a house. Understand and like it such that you'd be content to own it in the absence of any market. It's better to have a partial interest in the Hope Diamond than to own all of a rhinestone. You only have to be able to evaluate companies within your circle of competence. The size of that circle is not very important. Knowing its boundaries, however, is vital. Diversification is protection against ignorance. It makes little sense if you know what you are doing. Why diversification is only required when investors do not understand what they are doing. Opportunities come infrequently. When it rains gold, put out the bucket, not the thimble. Games are won by players who focus on the playing field, not by those whose eyes are glued to the scoreboard.